Hey there, Sean Allen, your productivity coach in the Market Center. Hope you're doing well. Just want to go over the seller multiple counteroffer with you real quick. This one is you are going to see, particularly in this market with low inventory, a lot of seller holding the cards. They are a bit in control with so low inventory. We're seeing multiple buyers make offers on properties, and then sellers are left with a situation where they're sending out multiple counteroffers. So that's what this form literally is: seller multiple counteroffer. So this is what you're going to see. So you send over your offer on a property for your buyer, you're going to get this form back. And I'm going to just point out some important things about that, things to think about. It should be labeled seller multiple counteroffer number one if it is indeed the first one. If you send a buyer counteroffer back, that would be buyer's counteroffer number one. If the seller sent another counteroffer back, that's going to be seller counteroffer number two, and so on and so forth. Kind of like that. Also, what I like to do is maybe I like to put in the name as well. So counteroffer number one, Allen, just to keep things straight in my mind, so that I know what I'm doing. It's fine to do that, just so that everything's straight, everybody's on the same page. So you're going to see it. It should have a number in there. It should be attached to the purchase agreement, or it could come back attached or on behalf of the other counteroffer you may or may not send back. Date goes right there. That's the date you're actually doing the document. This date right here, this is the date of the original offer. So if you sent that offer in yesterday, this would be dated 5/4. Does that make sense? Obviously, property is going to go right there between the buyer's name and the seller's name. We good? Okay. Come down here quite simply. These are the terms. You are only countering the terms that you are changing. So if the seller is countering back on price, services such as title, escrow, close of escrow, those are the only items the seller are countering. If it's not mentioned in the counteroffer, then it's deemed accepted once you have an executed contract. So just make sure it's clear. It can be especially tricky if you get multiple counteroffers going back and forth and multiple times. So when you're up to 2 and 3 and goodness sakes 4 counteroffers going back and forth, it can be quite tricky. So pay close attention to what's in here. It's nice when they're numbered 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth, and it just makes it clear what lines you're referring to. Or if there's an addenda attached, they would have that in there with that number. If it was a lengthy request or something else, they would include that in there. If they included any other documents, you would check those boxes and fill that in there. The expiration, pay close attention to that. The seller may ask for a time other than the standard 5 p.m. third day. They may say, we want it back by 12 p.m. On the following day. So if it went out today, that would be 5, 6, 15. Does that make sense? So pretty simple. Pretty simple. So pay attention to that. Again, if a seller is doing that in this market, pay attention to that. Let your buyers know that time is of the essence. It also says in here that a copy of the counteroffer signed by buyer is personally received by seller, or that would be seller's agent would be right there. Seller's agent who is authorized to receive it. So that means if the seller's agent got it back, it would be deemed confirmed. And a copy of this multiple counteroffer, the seller signed selection, paragraph 5, is purchased by the buyer or the buyer's agent. That would go right there. So there you go. Or B, if seller withdraws this multiple counteroffer anytime prior to acceptance, CAR form withdrawal of offer may be used. Now keep in mind, here's the important thing about this multiple counteroffer situation. If your buyer gets this back, Now the seller's going to sign there and date there. And right here, this is critical. Your buyer looks at those terms up here and they say, you know what, we like it. We're going to accept. They sign it. They date it. They put a time on it. They send it back to the seller. You would think you would have an accepted offer. However, keep in mind it's a multiple. This counteroffer may have gone out to multiple. It should have gone out. If it's a multiple, they're sending out multiples. The same one may have gone out, or it may have been a different offer. But keep in mind, multiple counteroffers went back. We have an agent in the office. I just saw the offer today. Property's been on for 3 days. They have 14 offers on the property. Great price. That's going to happen. Now they're going to prepare in some fashion some form of multiple counteroffers, whether it's 14 or not, because the options are you can reject, you can counter, you can accept, and you can ignore, which is really a low form of rejection, a less professional form. Don't recommend that. At least respond back. However, back to this acceptance. Your buyer accepts. Great. We love the offer. We're going. Let's do it. They do that. Listen, in a multiple counteroffer position, the seller has to ultimately confirm or sign accepting your acceptance. Why is that? Well, if they send out 5 multiple counteroffers, all of the buyers accept, well, we're back in the same boat. They simply have to confirm which one they accept. It could be yours. They could be back countering other counteroffers, so it could be going back and forth. Because it can have a volley. It can be offer, counteroffer, 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 acceptance. It could be like that. And they may be doing that with multiple offers at the time. So, pretty cut and dried, now that my form's all messy here. Keeping in mind, you just want to slow down and pay attention to everything. Make sure everything has been checked. Dot your I's, cross your T's, so to speak. Take a deep breath. Go through everything line by line. Make sure you're not missing anything. Make sure you're understanding everything completely. Making sure that your buyer understands that by simply accepting this, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get it. Now, if they were to accept and send a counteroffer back, then they would check that as well, and then you would be in that back and forth situation again. So I hope this has been helpful. Take some time to review this. Read through these contracts. These are your tools. Make sure you know what you're doing. Have a fantastic and productive week. Take care.